Ed and Ronnie take the stage, bringing news from a different page. Truth served hot and bold and strong. Every week we sing along. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Stories that make you think and pray. A light awaits at the end of day. Guided by the stars and stripes, through the stormiest of nights. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. When the world feels like a fight, hold your ground, stand for what's right. In the truth we'll find our way. Ed and Ronnie light the way. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Red, white, and true will stand tall. Echo the call loudest of all. With hearts of faith and liberty, together we find unity. Together we find unity.
I stay updated by watching Ed and Ronnie.
Wake up, America. The rooster's been crowing and the sun is already high. It's time to open them ears and open that heart. Start listening to Ed and Ronnie, two fellas with a whole wagon load of sense, and watch their streams.
Well, well, well. A wagon load of sense.
That is right.
Oh my! I've got a terrible echo from my end. So you welcome everybody.
Me too. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. We got a lot to cover tonight. Hopefully we get these echoes figured out and get them eliminated most skosh. Because I like hearing the sound of my own voice, but not constantly in my own ears. Every once in a while I can drown them out, but not today. It's kind of loud, but it's all right. How's everybody doing today? It has been another cold, snowy day here in the fabulous world of Columbus, Indiana. Snowing off and on, back and forth, left and right, big uns, little uns, a lot of snow. But fortunately, none of it's stuck. None of it's keeping the roads out of commission or anything. But we are here. We are live. We're in good moods. At least I am. Looks like Pastor Ed's asleep. But that's okay. We'll forgive him this time. So I want to start out with something I worked on the other day, and it's something that I had promised my friend Darren Ness a long time ago that I would complete, and well, I finally completed it. Wednesday night, about I don't know, 8:30. You know, we got done with the show about 8. I got it done at about 8:30. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, our very first commercial for our very first sponsor, Sergeant D. Hello, everybody. This is Ronnie coming to you from Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie every Monday, Wednesday, and either Friday or Saturday. But today I'm here to talk to you about Sergeant D's Coffee Beans. Now, Sergeant D is a veteran owned company, very good coffee. You can several different ways. I've tried some, it's amazing. I've got some right here. You can see Sergeant D right now in Columbus, Indiana, at the Sears Winter Market every other Saturday. Very good stuff. Thank you to Sergeant D's Coffee Beans. Please visit him on Facebook, Sergeant D's Coffee Beans, or on the web where you can order some, sergeantdscoffeebeans.com. Thank you very much. Good stuff. All right.
And you brought some stuff home today.
I did. I got a chance. I carved out a little bit of time and went and saw Sergeant D down at the Winter Market. He gave us another bag. Mexican blend, I believe. Looking forward to that for sure. So we'll grind that up and get it brewing.
I'm going to let you keep talking because I thought I had that echo gone and it's still in my ear.
Oh no, the echo, at least from my voice in my ear, it's fixed. So we're at least 50% of the way there. So
all right, keep talking.
All right, so okay, so that was our very first commercial for our very first sponsor. Thank you very much to Sergeant D's Coffee. Still looking for sponsors. Keep us in your prayers. Got some big things going on. ICE is headed to Indiana. Not ICE as in the crap that's on the ground and has been for a little over a week now, but ICE as in the Immigrations, Customs, and Enforcement. So some things were discussed about what we need, to be able to get out there and to get the news you need to know. So those things are quite costly, as we did look at a little while ago, Ed and I. So, we are looking for sponsors and more sponsors, and you'll get more quality commercials from this handsome face right here, created by yours truly. You're supposed to shut up. You're not fixing. You're fixing your echo if you're laughing. Go away. Go fix your echo.
I was just going to say, why don't you tell them why we need that and what the thought process might be?
Yes. So it was discussed that we need some, press lanyards, things to identify us as press. Obviously cameras and stuff like that. But one of the biggest things is Kevlar. It's a sad day in the world where press has to wear Kevlar. But I remember back in the 90s, the whole Operation Desert Storm. Sorry, it took me way too long to come up with that. Operation Desert Storm, but press was wearing Kevlar helmets and Kevlar ballistic vests. Now that's understandable. That's a war zone. This is the United States of America. It is not a war zone, but Kevlar is definitely something that is needed because we're not red, white, and blue hair hippie nose ring liberal. We're red, white, and true, and people don't like our point of view. As seen on Pastor Ed's TikTok that I saw earlier, man, anything you post on there, it's immediate. It's like Target. It's literally like a bullseye for any blue-haired nose ring, lefty-leaning anything. You could say up is up and down is down, and they'd want to get on there and argue about that. No, black is not really black. It's actually white. And white's not really white. It's actually black. So you're wrong. Man, I swear, everything he posts on there, it's like a bullseye.
I have it listed for me to read some of those comments.
please do, because some of them are funny. And when you had posted, I believe last week, me talking about 2A and that one liberal who just went and picked up his first AR, with 0 amounts of training. Boy, that was hilarious. And the only comment that I could even post to any of them was, "Thanks for watching," because there's no point in arguing with the dead tree stump. It's still in the end going to be a dead tree stump. So, yeah, I might have engaged with a few of them, but that was just, when they would share a stupid meme or whatever, and then all I said was hashtag the left can't meme, which fired them up even more. But it's true, the left can't meme, and it's, you would think with all the time they spend on their computers in their mom's basement that they could come up with something funny, but they can't. But hey, something that was sent to me Wednesday night by a bunch of different people, and I really appreciate it. You guys remember the bananas and rice girl? Kamala's distant cousin from Somalia. Kamala's cousin. I'm kidding. She's not related. But from Somalia, who had one of the most epic word salads in the history of word salads, that basically just stood up and said bananas and rice about 15 times. She got arrested.
Today just keeps getting better and better. Do you remember the bananas and rice Somalian girl that tried to explain what a Somalian is, and all she did was further our confusion? Guess who just got arrested? She got arrested because she attacked a federal law enforcement officer. I mean, they were on you like child care on rice. I mean, I guess she just went bananas on them, because that's what you get. When you mix bananas and rice for a living, you will end up mixing assault on a federal officer with jail time. I mean,
But yeah, there was pictures of her. She had assaulted, and she had paid and FO'd, and she should have just stayed home and had her bananas and rice.
She should have.
So, yeah, that was great. Of course, it literally came out just as soon as we signed off, I believe. So, poor bananas and rice. All right, how's the echo on your end? Any good? Any better?
All right, you get an echo from me now?
No, I'm good. You're good.
All right. Well, I think I didn't fix it the way that I like, but I think I fixed it. So
It's better, so we'll take it.
yes, it is.
Hello, stupid. Here's your sign: bananas and rice. Oh my
Bananas
God.
and rice.
I actually wondered after I saw that video how good bananas and rice would be. I am a huge supporter of rice pudding. I believe I've got one left, but
Huge
bananas
supporter.
and rice. Yes, I'm a strong rice pudding supporter. Not bananas and rice supporter, but it's going on the 2028 ticket. Rice pudding. Yeah, can you turn yourself up, Ed? You are really, really quiet. Of course, on Wednesday I was quiet. Now today you're quiet. Man, we can't get this stuff figured out.
Well, is that better? Am I?
Whoa! Yes.
All right.
Good deal.
Well, I think, like I said, I don't have it the way I want it, but it works, and so we're going to leave it. And now that I'm ready to roll, let me do a couple things here real quick. We like Senator Kennedy.
Yes.
And you probably have Senator Kennedy, but we may make people really tired of Senator Kennedy tonight. Not all of mine are horribly funny or funny. Just him talking is funny, but he has some, let's just listen.
I've known President Trump for 10 years. He like him or not, he exists loudly. He grows anxious when he has an unexpressed thought. It's all unfiltered. Now, some people like that and some people don't. I would think the media would love that. He talks to the media more than any president I've ever seen.
But the idea that President Trump is not deciding which version of himself we're going to see is absolutely wrong. I mean, if you know, and you interact with President Trump in private, I have over the course, the first time I interviewed Donald Trump was back in 2013 when he was just thinking about running for president.
Yeah.
And he has one setting when those cameras are on and one setting when those cameras are off.
Right.
And if he wanted to make a different decision about how to conduct himself in public, he is absolutely capable of doing it.
He's not going to.
But he's not going to. That is also correct.
And you can criticize it. This is America. You can say what you want. Now, you know, he's not going to like it. You might end up with a sombrero on your head. But he is what he is.
Oh,
He exists loudly. That is my favorite comment so far of the year.
well, I found it ironic that the anal journalist there told Trump that Trump was wrong because he doesn't tell them what Trump is going to show up.
Right.
Yeah. I love that one.
Exists loudly. That is something that I want to take to my grave. I want people to sit around at my funeral and go, well, he wasn't a nice guy and he didn't do the right thing, but he existed loudly.
Well, but as normal with Senator Kennedy, is it spot on or what?
Oh yeah, he nailed it. I
mean, you have to, and look at that. Kennedy was in front of Bill Maher and sitting by a libtard journalist and still knocked it out of the park.
Right.
I mean, I just love him to death.
Yeah.
And I've got another Bill Maher for later. And I just want to kind of like go into confession and, you know, do my Hail Marys. And, you know, I probably did that all wrong. And I'm not making fun of Catholics there. Really, I'm not. I'm going into confession. These two clips tonight that I have of Bill Maher is more than I have listened to him in his entire career. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either.
Well, how about, I think you got this, but I'm going to beat you to the gun. And you know, some things are just too good not to share. And this one fits.
Can I pray for you real quick? Absolutely. Come on. Let's go. All right. Lord God, give you thanks for this president, Lord. Thank you for Canada. Pray for continued wisdom. Pray for discernment. Pray for help. Pray for more peace, Lord. And just pray for just protection against the world, the devil, the flesh, and all principalities, Lord. Thanks, Lord. Jesus.
Amen. Praise God.
Big, strong guy.
Praise God.
That's right.
I did have that, but that one's better.
What evil? A man praying for the president of the United States. And, well, I was going to spoil one of the comments from our TikTok account, and I won't do that. I'll save it for later. But, you know, Trump didn't hesitate. You know, I don't think it was pre-planned. It didn't seem to be. And, you know, the left likes to say that we're not real Christians. Real Christians couldn't support Trump. Real Christians wouldn't want the borders secured. Jesus didn't comply. I seen that one today. And well, that was actually one of the comments on TikTok. Jesus didn't comply. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, the one I liked was it was a meme of Jesus, and it said something about I told you to protect immigrants and not pedophiles. And I said, tell me where in the Bible does it say to protect illegal immigrants, and what pedophiles are we protecting? You mean Bill Clinton? That guy didn't answer back. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, well, that is a surprise. What do you got for us?
Well, so one of the things I track is showing flight patterns over Iran, and it's really thinning out. And the flights that are there are being tracked like crazy. So I was just on the Federal Aviation Administration looking for NOTAMs. NOTAMs are a notice to airmen. It's like when they close airspace, they send it out. And there is not one for Iran. So I'm kind of fiddle farting around with that, trying to figure out what's going on. I did notice Tusi is about to go live. B-52 bombers were spotted in the area. Not on Flight Tracker, obviously, but I am keeping an eye on that. Keeping an eye on that. So let's see here. What do I have? So we heard that Greenland is so tired of Donald Trump trying to take their land that they weaponized their weather patterns, and we were struck with it last week, but we struck back and took out all 12 houses, took out their power.
We have some major breaking news out of Greenland where there has been a massive power outage to the point where they are requiring people to maybe come into the police station if they need to call them, they're saying. This apparently is being investigated. They're saying it was a mistake or a bug of some kind. This is coming from the Greenland police. And again, this is a massive power outage that is affecting a widespread.
Massive power outage affecting all 10 homes. But that was last week. It was not a bug or anything. It's something to knock the power pole down or something like that. So, but the whole joke about them weaponizing their weather patterns and sending it here is it's funny because we just got more snow today. So, what you and I were talking about that last week? Tactical assault, snow or something. Oh, you're muted.
I think that was somebody else. I don't remember that one because it's pretty good. I think I would remember.
Oh, well, maybe it was somebody else. I talked to so many people. But yeah, I just thought that was funny.
Don't set me up.
They'll set you up.
Don't set me up.
Assault on by Greenland.
No. Oh, yeah, don't set me up. I want, it doesn't seem like we've been on here for a long time, even though it was just Wednesday. Yeah. But this week has been so messed up, and who knew what day it was, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I just repeat myself. Don't set me up.
Oh,
you got to have something else ready to go.
Well, I should have mentioned this when we were talking about bananas and rice, but this happened, I believe, after we went off Thursday, I believe.
We were just inside of a town hall by Representative Ilhan Omar here in Minneapolis, and a man sprayed something towards her. He was taken out by security, shocking the crowd that is here to listen to Ilhan Omar, who is talking about the ICE crackdown. I just want to let you know that is what we have just seen. He was taken down by her security, and Ilhan Omar decided that she was going to continue, even though her security detail said not to. They were concerned about her safety. She went forward, and the crowd stayed to listen to what she had to say about the ICE crackdown here in her community. A very, very tense and frankly scary moment for those here and for the representative.
I was here to listen to Ilhan Omar and what she had to say. Nobody cared about Ilhan Omar and what she had to say.
Look what Bill and Tanya said.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Well, I've got a couple of videos with that since we went there.
Let's go there.
Let me get back over to my videos.
We're talking about it being staged real quick. If you couldn't tell because of the wheezing half laugh, whatever that is, but the guy standing there in the beginning taking a picture holding a Fiji water bottle and the stack of cash is the same one that threw this stinky material on top of her. So staged, I ask you?
Hmm.
Go with yours.
Impeachment. Or face impeachment.
What you just saw was a man spraying an unknown liquid substance at Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar in Minneapolis on Tuesday. In response, President Donald Trump told ABC News, quote, she probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. But when pressed if he's even watched the video, Trump said, I haven't seen it. No, I hope I don't have to bother. After the incident, Omar tweeted, I'm okay, I'm a survivor, so this small agitator isn't going to intimidate me from doing my work. I don't let bullies win. Grateful to my incredible constituents who rallied behind me.
I'm a survivor from the anthrax that was thrown on me. It's okay, I'm a survivor. Oh my gosh. Elementary kids put on a better play than that. Absolutely. You're muted again, Pop. Hey, you're muted.
Commentary or any conspiracy about whether or not it was made up or whatever. I looked at it and I thought, this can't be real. There's nothing real about this.
But it's okay. She's a survivor.
Well, but to me, I just thought this time playing it through. When the guy got up, it looked like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you play the first part again? Because I wanted to, it looked like she charged after him, but the one I showed looks like she bounced back. I just wanted to see if I
Here we go.
Or face impeachment. Or face impeachment.
I was right. So her security, she charged after the guy. If she was terrified of this guy hurting her, why did she go charging off after him? And she even had her hand up. Come on now. That is so staged. Ilhan, I'm a survivor. Man, you are muted
Representative
again.
Omar, are you okay?
You know, I'm gonna go figure if I am, but I feel okay. I feel that it is important for people, whether they are in elected office or not, to allow these people to intimidate us, to make us not fight for our constituents and for the country we love. And as I said, you know, I've survived war, and I'm definitely going to survive intimidation and whatever these people think they can throw at me, because I'm built that way.
So they ask her if she's okay. If she was honestly worried about that, then why did she not? Nobody was there to listen. Nobody cares about what she has to say. Why did she not go seek medical attention then? But she's all terrified. But first, let me answer a few questions from the reporters. I'm going to go check to make sure I'm okay. She knew that was fake.
I don't know how long she spoke after that happened. I don't know if it was 5 seconds or 5 minutes or however long. But if somebody attacks anybody, but much less a elected official, with something that you have no idea what it is. I mean, what if that would have been some kind of acid?
Yeah, I mean, if it was anthrax, she would have felt fine to finish her 5-minute, 5-second speech. But first, let me take questions from reporters. But like Mom just said, she makes a brief eye contact him like a sign. Are you kidding me? I didn't catch that, but why does not surprise me? I don't know.
Well, the first time you and I and your mother mentioned this, I said that she's trying to go in a line of great people. You know, there was Charlie Kirk, and he was assassinated. Yeah. And then there was Donald Trump, and he got shot in the ear. And then there's Ilhan Omar, and
who got sprayed with a serious substance.
She was sprayed with apple cider vinegar.
Is that
Kind
what
of-
it was?
Yes, that's what apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. Poor woman. How is she going to survive?
Well,
How is she
here-
going to survive?
well, there she is. She's looking for tears. Looking for tears.
So she looks at the guy who she just took pictures with holding a water bottle, a Fiji water bottle, and a stack of cash for some reason. And then he jumps up and splashes her with apple cider vinegar, says something to her. She charges. This guy had at least a foot on her and at least another 125 pounds. She charges the man with her fist raised to turn around and retreat back.
Well, that's because she's
Good with
been in war.
cucumbers and onions. Good with cucumbers and onions. No, that's yeah, you're right. She's been in war.
That's too good. Oh my goodness, we got to show that again. We got to show that again.
Well, Bill, that's only because you're a survivor and you've been in war and you're going to go get checked out to be okay, right? Right?
Well, I don't know if we said this Wednesday, we may have, but the best comment maybe I've ever heard in my lifetime was when a person that was making a reel said she was not a MFer, but a brother effer. I laughed so hard because it just came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it at all. You know, sometimes when you expect that, but she says, no, you're a brother effer.
True. I mean, I've seen the marriage certificate. It is absolutely true.
You know, people that don't like us could be in here and talking about how mean and how cruel and how hypocritical we are. You know, she's an elected official and she was attacked in public. Even the president thinks it was fake. Even other
And he didn't even
elected.
see it. He didn't even watch it. He said he didn't watch it.
Somebody asked him, well, have you even seen the video? And he's like, no. And he said, I hope I don't have to. That's what he ended it up with. I hope I don't have to.
I was just told he told her she stunk, said this is because you stink as he threw it. That is the lamest attack I've ever heard in my entire life. So as to continue this whole stage thing, you stink, and he throws an honor.
Here's the deal. We're red, white, and true, and not red, white, and assume. But sometimes you just got to put a little comedy in it. And so since we're doing that, what if you said something about he had money? What if he didn't even know what he was going to do when he showed up, and somebody pulled him off to the side and handed him some money and handed him the syringe or whatever, and she's going to look at your water bottle, or you've got this water bottle.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take like massive planning to pull that off.
No, it's so lame too.
Well,
I mean,
earlier it was said in here that kindergartner could pull off.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, they could have wrote, produced, and directed a better assassination attempt than that. You stink. So they threw, oh my.
Elementary kids put on a better play than that. And you know, I could actually kind of understand somebody that would say we're hypocritical. You know, we didn't take this seriously. And how can you take this seriously?
Exactly. What is there to take serious? I mean, what is there to take serious? She's like a street thug, yeah. Except less intelligent. Yeah.
She's like a street thug, and there it says Bloods or Crips.
Bloods or Crips. More like bananas and rice.
Oh, well, we really didn't set out for this to be a comedy show. We've got some
No.
serious things to talk on.
Bananas or rice?
Yeah.
Yo, bananas, Holmes. No, I'm rice, dog.
Well, I think in order to segue into some of the other stuff, that we probably just need to take a brief break and come back out with the Don Lemon story.
Do you got lemon and aid? That could be a thing. Lemon
Well,
and
Trump did post that meme that said, when life gives you lemons.
I loved it. Actually, I think I saw
Yeah.
that. Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll be back while he's looking for that after this break.
We're taking a short break, but don't go anywhere. Ed and Ronnie will be right back in just a few seconds. Thank you so much for supporting Red, White, and True. Did you know that your interactions with us on social media are vital to making sure that we continue to grow our audience? Please follow us on all major social media platforms, especially our Facebook page, so we can continue to share Christ through current events and more here on this live stream. Okay, just a little bit longer to make sure that you go grab your coffee, soda, or whatever you want, so we can continue with today's live stream. All right? Are you ready? Here we go. Here again are Ed and Ronnie.
All right. Now, I in all seriousness, this next story, we've got two stories today that really, really, really get to me. And the whole Don Lemon thing, we've talked about what happened a week ago Sunday at the church in St. Paul, Minnesota. He was arrested this week in L.A. Wonder why he was in L.A. and not, covering the news in Minnesota. I'm not sure. But there were several statements put out. CNN, his former employer, put this statement out. Let's get you and I off of here.
I had to put you back on here because we can't hear you talking.
That's what I thought. The FBI's arrest of our former CNN colleague Don Lemon raises profoundly concerning questions about press freedom and the First Amendment. The Department of Justice already failed twice to get an arrest warrant for Don and several other journalists in Minnesota when a chief judge of the Minnesota Federal District Court found that there was no evidence that there was any criminal behavior involved in their work. The First Amendment in the United States protects journalists who bear witness to news and events as they unfold, ensuring that they can report freely in the public interest. And the Department of Justice's attempts to violate those rights is unacceptable. We will be following this case closely. Now, I don't know, Ronnie. I just figure instead of listening to what CNN had to say, I think maybe it might be best to read what the Constitution says.
I'm good with that. Do you have what the Constitution says? Did you freeze up? One of us froze up. I don't know. Maybe if it's not me, I'll just keep talking. Yep. One of your cameras froze up. Yeah, he's working on it. So I don't have what the Constitution says. I do know the First Amendment does not. There you go.
All right, let me get to our TikTok page, because this was what set the most recent craziness. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, freedom of speech or freedom of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It specifically says peaceably to assemble, and that's what those folks in Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota, were doing. They were following the First Amendment, their right to free speech. And so in the meme that I put up, many of you may have seen it, I said that the right to a free press is not more important than my right to the freedom of worship. And I say that, and I mean it. You know, why is his right to cover something that he says is a news event more important than, let's not use me in there, the people that were in there worshiping God? And, you know, people like to be stupid in comments, and we may, you know, we're way into this already, so we may not get to their comments. One person, you know, had to throw in the Christian nationalism phrase. Earlier, he said, you know, they have the right to worship, but, you know, Christians, they force their opinions down other people's throats, and they ain't got no right to do that. And in my reply, amongst other things, I said, this isn't about Christians. This is about religion, and any of the religions have the right to assemble.
Yeah.
So it's not about Christians. As a matter of fact, I think I heard, and I didn't research, but I think I heard something about a Jewish service being interrupted yesterday, and I also read something that said that the protest planners, since they got so much attention going into that church, were going to go into more churches. Not good.
No.
This was from the attorney of Don Lemon. Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. Don has been a journalist for 30 years and has constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis, or his constitutionally protected work was no different than what he has always done. I don't think he has broken into a church uninvited along with rioters. I'm just, you know, thinking out loud there. I don't think he's probably done that until now, or else he probably wouldn't still be a journalist. I'm just saying, not that he really ever was a journalist. I think in the famous words of Carolyn Levitt, he's a left-wing hack, or I forget exactly how she said it, but that's pretty close. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing this work. It goes on, and if you would like to be sick, I could read you the rest. There's another statement from the SAG, which is Screen Actors Guild. I've got a video up here that Don Lemon is talking on his podcast after the situation happened. You know, he's in a studio setting, and you know, let me just break it down a little bit. First of all, I'm happy he got arrested. Second of all, I'm not happy that he was released on his own recognizance, no bail. Third, I believe, Ronnie believes, everybody that we know that believes in Christian conservatism believes that he's guilty, that your rights do not supersede other people's rights. I don't know how arrogant Don Lemon thinks he can be, that his right as a journalist is more important than those people in that church, their right to worship freely. Because there was no free worship done after they walked in the door. The only worshiping was done was I seen people praying. I seen little kids with the look of horror on their face. They have the right to do that? Come on, Ronnie. There ain't no way that's a right. Am I wrong?
No. Yeah, like you said, his right to free speech does not trump anyone else's rights to freely worship. And it doesn't matter whether he walked into a Christian church, a Jewish synagogue, a Muslim mosque, which he would never do, ever. It doesn't matter whose church he walked into. Even if you walked into the church of Satan, it does not matter. That's who they choose to worship. That's their deal. That's between them and their higher power, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't matter. If you want to protest, do it outside. Do it outside. You don't go in and disrupt. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if somebody came to Old Union or here to the Father's house and decided to protest outside, there would be no issues. I would support your right to freely speak and peacefully assemble. But if
on the sidewalk,
the sanctuary, on the sidewalk, you know, not in the street, you know, where impeding traffic. But if you were to bring it in the sanctuary, bring it into where it terrifies children and disrupts services, absolutely not. And people are out there supporting this man. I've got that video Trevor sent me about this.
I have spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again, I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silent. I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
His first sentence, I will not stop covering the news. What news was he picking up in that church? What news was he covering, interrupting that church service? What breaking story was he getting out to the public?
Well, he made the news.
Well,
he made up the news. He created it.
Yeah, he was not covering any news. He became the news. How is that a journalist? Journalists are supposed to take the news from the background. Journalists are supposed to witness, record, and share with the masses, not show up to a church service, frighten small children, and show your ass in front of God and everyone.
Well, and here's the other thing about it. For those that say, well, he didn't do that, you tell me then why he was serving them coffee and donuts before they started.
Yep. He knew it was going to happen. He brought coffee and donuts to the party. He knew what was going to happen.
How did he
so
even
aggravating?
How did he even know? I bet you they didn't tell ICE that they were going there and do that. I bet you they didn't tell the Minneapolis Police Department or the St. Paul Police Department that they were going to go there and do that. But they just happened to tell Don Lemon so he could show up.
Yeah, with coffee and donuts.
Come on, people. I think the left thinks we're stupid.
They do.
They have to think that this was appropriate and that Ilhan Omar didn't stage that fake attack. They have to think we're stupid. We couldn't be that stupid, Ronnie. We could not be that stupid.
What they're doing is they're picking up rocks. Okay, and they're picking up rocks and they're throwing them at us. As we're firing bullets at them, they're picking up rocks and they're just hoping for that one lucky rock to hit us right between the eyes and take us out, like David and Goliath.
Yep,
that's all they're doing is they're just picking up rocks and slinging rocks at us, hoping one of them's going to stick and knock us out.
Well, this is the take of the night right here. I like that. Exempt to FAFO. Oh my. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get a chance to read that. I was sitting at the outro video. I can pull it up right here. Yeah. And please, by all means, continue doing so in churches. You're going to FO eventually.
Well,
eventually.
And the thing is, then they think there will be martyrs, and somewhat they will be, and not in the real definition of a martyr, but martyr in the eyes of the left, like the two that have already given their lives to stupidity.
They're not martyrs in the eyes of the left. They're martyrs to the church of the left, which, like I said, is sitting around trying to think of dumb things to do, like, the gentleman that was handed a wad of cash and decided to jump up and say, "You stink," to Bananas and Rice's cousin.
Well, and the liberal media, as with what we read with CNN, have gone crazy over it.
Oh, yeah.
He FO'd right there. He found out. And Pam Bondi, and I wish I had that. It's a 16-second clip of her saying that basically there, FAFO.
Yeah.
She didn't say those words, it was other verbiage, but it's exactly what it meant.
Yeah.
Well, and you have any more on Don Lemon?
I do not. It was all the same stuff. So
this relates to this topic.
So I know Don Lemon. My husband created CNN, and I will fight for their right to speak, which is guaranteed in our Constitution. They arrested the wrong Don. Don Lemon is a professional journalist. He and his producer were doing their job. Nothing more, nothing less. And he's been arrested. And they'll make up all kinds of defamatory things to say about him. That's what they're doing. This is how autocrats act. We can't fall for it. We have to speak up. When a red line is crossed like this, we cannot be silent.
Now, go ahead and leave us small there. I've got, this is from Hanoi Jane Fonda, who,
Don Lemon is a professional journalist. He and his producer were doing their job. Nothing more, nothing less. And he's been arrested. And they'll make up all kinds of defamatory.
So let's put our politics aside for the moment. And she said that he's done nothing wrong and that we would come up with all kinds of things. Let's put being Christians aside. Let's put being conservatives aside. Let's put on our just not, I'm not going to say higher than average IQ. Let's just put on our thinking caps for a moment. Okay. So we're just a regular old think tank sitting here. Let's look and use a little bit of common sense and let's talk about what happened. He brings coffee and donuts to a bunch of individuals who had signed up to go into a church to protest for whatever reason. We can get into the reasons, it doesn't matter, but for whatever reason, they decide to go into this specific church and create a ruckus. Is that a good idea or is that a bad idea? Well, anybody with any ounce of common sense would think that that's a bad idea. Why? Because you're interrupting somebody's worship. Like I said a minute ago, it doesn't matter what church it is. It doesn't matter who the faith or what the faith is. Me and you and like you said, anybody else with any ounce of common sense, that's a bad idea. Is it criminal? Well, let's look at the Constitution. Does it say anywhere the right to free speech in a church? No, it does not. So we've covered all this multiple ways, multiple different angles, the Christian side, the conservative side, the common sense side. Sorry, Hanoi Jane, you are incorrect. He did do something criminal. So,
well, let's ask this question, Ronnie. Would Don Lemon be allowed to walk straight into your front door, our front door right here, and cover the news?
Well, there's no news going on here. I mean, what the news that Spunky's asleep? You know, the news that the preacher's preaching a sermon. You know, there was no news there. There was no riots going on. There was no criminals hiding in the audience. There was nothing. There was no news to cover. Why that church? You know, why any church? There was no news going on. He was not covering the news. He was not covering anything. So,
well,
I mean, would I be acceptable with Hanoi Jane or Fruitcake Don Lemon showing up and covering the news? There's no
if
news.
there was news.
If there was
first
news,
of all,
if there was news, yes. But like I said, the press, journalists should not cause the issues. They're just there to record the issues.
And Hanoi Jane, to add to that, is not a journalist, even if her husband founded CNN. She's very experienced at being in protests, in riots, in mobs. She's very experienced in that. So again, along with Don Lemon, she would be perfectly fine to stand out on our front sidewalk. And by the way, I shoveled that sidewalk so they don't have to stand in 14 inches of snow to do that. That was awfully nice of me to make a place for them.
Well, she's awful old, so she could fall and break a hip.
You notice she wasn't wearing a coat or anything. She's in warm weather, making all of.
She's in LA.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. He stands there and says, I am a journalist and I'm not going to stop reporting on the news. Okay, then report on the news, not be the news.
Well, he must not have had much to report on when you have to create the news yourself.
Yeah.
The same as the mobs up there, they're creating news, intentionally creating news. I mean, and it's interesting. We talked on here either Monday or Wednesday about how what's going on in Minneapolis was much like a military operation. And I heard somebody else say it may have been Kennedy, but somebody said they've got intelligence, they've got communication. They said exactly what we said.
Yeah.
And there was if you have a military operation, what happens? It costs money.
Oh yeah.
And they're well
where's their money
financed.
coming from? Where's their money
That-
coming from?
From a Hungarian Nazi.
That would be Herr George Soros.
SOR. SOS. Oh well. Poor attempt at coming up with something. Not enough letters. JEO, RGE, SOROS. There it worked. There it worked.
Mickey Mouse.
Let's see. We had a couple of comments come up real quick. That is what our Savior Jesus Christ said, that these things of the world are what will come against us. Stand firm and denounce this garbage. And then your mom said, right is wrong and wrong will be right. And boy, howdy, are we there.
Didn't I just say that when we were talking about lefties earlier? When you can say right or left, and they say no, it's not left, it's right, or right, no, it's not right, it's left. It's exactly what's going on. And we've talked about this before, that no matter what happens, Orange Man bad. Everybody in the country is getting the largest tax return in human possible, plus refunds from tariffs, and Orange Man bad. The military just got $1,776 paychecks, and Orange Man bad. It's all wrong. It's all bad. People complaining about it.
Well, I wanted to get this one in. I know I've kind of dominated things tonight. I apologize.
Oh, I got stuck.
Trevor sent us a link, and the headline is Christianity at Disney World? ? Religious merchandise appears at Florida theme parks. Now, I had about that much hope that maybe this had some good meaning, and that much of the hope that I had was quickly dashed. Walt Disney World Resort is embracing a Christian holiday remarkably early this year, stocking Easter-themed merchandise through its Florida theme parks, a full 3 months before the religious celebration. Boy, now, I should stop right here and say that this article was written for DisneyDining.com. DisneyDining.com. The religious holiday merchandise debuts in January, and they, this part they're going on about the timing and how they're doing it so early. Even use the line, when most guests are still recovering from Christmas and New Year's. The Easter shirt features. Now, here is where that little bit of hope just closes all the way up. The Easter shirt features a light gray design of Daisy Duck, Pluto, Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald Duck positioned inside brightly colored Easter eggs. That's religious.
Yeah.
The 4 Walt Disney World Resort theme park icons appear behind the characters. The Twilight Zone Tower, Tower of Terror for Disney's Hollywood Studios, Spaceship Earth at Epcot, Cinderella Castle for Magic Kingdom, and the Tree of Life for Disney's Animal Kingdom. The shirts that are being sold at multiple locations, not like the $10 shirts you can find somewhere. They're priced at $32.99 to $29.99. So you can get a religious holiday T-shirt of Mickey Mouse in an Easter egg for $30.
That is religious. I love it. I love it.
Walt Disney World Resort will likely distribute the shirts to additional merchandise location across its hotels and 4 theme parks. So if you want to get one, think again and get something that really talks about a Christian holiday that is the death, burial, and resurrection of our Savior, not Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I hit the trifecta. Don Lemon, Elon Omar, and Disney.
Yeah.
All in the yeah.
Yeah.
Those are three bastions of American history. Well, maybe I guess I should clarify. I used to like Disney about 40 years ago when I was still young.
Yeah.
40 to 50 years ago when I was still young. I wish they'd changed the name from Disney to something else, because the word Disney, for those that lived when Disney was something other than they are now, it would bring a happy thought to you. I mean, even though the Wonderful World of Disney was on, it was on Sunday nights. And back in the day, most people that went to church would go Sunday morning and Sunday night. So we'd come home from church on Sunday night and we'd watch Disney shows. And that was a good memory. You say
I
the word
always hated the Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday night because I knew that after it was over, I had to go to bed because school was tomorrow. So I hated it. I hated it. I did.
So it had nothing to do with the Disney product. It had to do.
No, nothing to do with Disney itself. It had everything to do with I had to wake up the next day to go to school, and I didn't want to do that. So,
Bill, Tanya can make better shirts a lot cheaper. I paraphrase that. Bill, thank you for the comments. You are an awesome friend of the show here. You're an awesome friend in real life too, and so
he's all right. He's all
yeah,
right.
he ain't bad. He ain't bad.
I mean, great either, but you know.
Well, I don't know. I think you better be nice. Your mom's down here, and she's pretty fond of Bill.
Yes, great guy. Great guy. Great guy, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
and this was one of those nights. I still had. I got most things done. For those old folks like your mom and I, Sanford and Son, you would remember that. Demond Wilson, who played Lamont Sanford, passed away yesterday. He was in the United States Army. He was in television, and he later became a ordained minister and was involved in Christian ministry for many, many, many years. He passed away. So, you know,
the mom from Home Alone, she passed away as well. I don't remember her name.
Yes, she did.
I'm pulling it up now. Oh, that was Jane Fonda.
Well, I was looking down through my list.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yep, there you go. And I seen a lot of feedback on that. A lot of people took that very, very hard.
Yeah, she was the Home Alone movies, the first two. She was
The
in
mom.
Beetlejuice. Yeah, the mom. She was in Beetlejuice. Couldn't tell you, I never saw it. And a couple other things, but yeah, she was. I actually liked her. She was a horrible mother. At least she played a horrible mother. I mean, who in the world could leave their son at home and go on vacation? Not once, but 2 times.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm going to give one more story so that I have mine totally wiped out now that I've dominated it.
You know, and I've got like 50 videos, and I didn't even touch my 3 news stories. So
I'll be nice on Monday. How about that?
I get extra time on Monday. I get extra yard time Monday.
Yes, you do. But these stories are, how do I skip that a Texas Democrat by the name of James Tallarico previously has stated that God is non-binary. He said that in 2021 during a Texas legislature debate. The comments resurfaced recently and drew renewed attention. He frames the statement as theological, arguing God transcends human gender categories. Yeah, he does. He certainly does. He doesn't transcend into something that when you say that nobody would associate with anything other than the LGBTQ plus alphabet soup group.
But what does God have to do with sex? Is he on Plenty of Fish? Is he on the dating scene? I mean, is he looking for some tail? I don't understand what that has to do with anything. I don't know.
Well, his supporters describe it as inclusive theology.
I'm glad that that's something important to sit around and think about.
I don't know that you need theology to be inclusive. God loves everyone. Jesus, his son, loves everyone and died for every one of our sins.
What was Jesus' sexual orientation? Since that's what we're covering here. I mean, come on.
Jesus was a man, 100% man, born from a 100% woman.
Virgin. So since she was a virgin and he was probably, let me guess, they're going to have some classes sitting around somewhere and considering what Jesus' sexual orientation was, since, that is so important in times like these, when ICE is murdering poor innocent civilians and Ilhan Omar is being sprayed with toxic goo, we've got to sit around and think of crap like this.
I'm trying to find a response to that, and I don't have one.
That's all.
I don't have one.
How about that?
That's
my response. God help us all. What was the Sparkle Creed? God and his or her gender or his. I played that a couple times on here. The Sparkle Creed.
Yeah.
They them.
Yeah, I really don't memorize those kind of things. I have a hard enough time memorizing scripture. Well, it is close to time.
If people really want to know what's going on, listen to Ed and Ronnie Tuesdays on Red, White, and True, streaming on Facebook.
They should do that. And, I didn't get over to the TikTok comments, but this kind of wraps that part up.
Yeah, you know who needs to shut up? Ed and Ronnie and that Red, White, and True bullcrap.
Okay, time for you to go, troll.
All right, time for me to go. Ronnie, you just take us on out of here. If you want to add something, if you want to add a topic, you do what you need to do, since I was rude tonight and dominated everything.
You weren't rude. I did change the closing sequence. This is a preacher pastor. He's talking about what did the Bible say about how to handle ICE and law enforcement authority, and I thought it was pretty good. But so yeah, please sit back. It's 30 seconds long. It's not very long. It's not going to keep you in your chair for too much longer. But we appreciate each and every one of you out there. I don't know if something's going on with Iran, like I discussed earlier, the B-52s. That could just be, speculation, hearsay. Don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on it. We may be coming back live here in about, hour or so, 2 hours, or 2:30 in the morning, whatever President Trump decides to move the final piece and say checkmate. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. We will be back here definitely on Monday, no matter what. So, nothing goes on. We will see you Monday, and you get to look at this and that guy, I guess. Monday, right here, 7 o'clock, Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. We thank you so much being here. And like the good man says, please go out and do the right
The
thing.
right thing.
Should you comply with law enforcement at all times? The scriptures tell us, specifically in Romans chapter 13, that we are to submit ourselves to governing authorities. The fact of the matter is that when a policeman tells you to do something, you do it, whether you like it or not. You can always argue about it in court, but not in the morgue.